Hello, hi, namaskar. I am Lipsa and I welcome you all to yet another new episode of Centurion podcast. As always, we are back with somebody very, very interesting, and she is none other than Dr. Rukmini Mishra. And she is currently serving as an associate professor in the Department of Botany, School of Applied Sciences, and as an associate dean of research and development. Not just that, she is also leading the Center for Genetics and Genomics. Hi, ma'am, namaskar, and welcome to today's episode.
Thank you so much, Lipsa. Thank you for having me here.
Ma'am, I am so glad you found time because our conversation with you has been long pending, and I'm sure the viewers are going to enjoy today's episode about everything that we have to talk about you. So, ma'am, we'll start about your personal journey first. You are a woman of a lot of achievements, and but first, I'd like to know how long have you been with Centurion, ma'am?
Yeah, I've been for 6 years now. I joined in 2019 December, so I have completed 6 years in this December.
And could we go into a little flashback of your personal journey before joining Centurion and why Centurion?
Yeah, so I'll start with my PhD thing. I have a PhD in agricultural biotechnology from National Rice Research Institute, and then subsequently I did my postdoctoral research at SOA University, and through this young scientist scheme from DST Government of India, and I am awarded with the young fellow from China Institute of Crop Science, where I did a 1 year research in genome editing. It's a cutting edge technology. And after that, I came back to India. I took a break for 1 year for my kid, and then I joined Centurion.
Lovely. And what about Centurion keeps you tied to it? Because as I just introduced, ma'am, you hold so many roles here, and I'm sure that keeps getting bigger and better every time. So, how does that work out for you?
See, while I was doing research, I was also very much passionate about academics. So it was always there in my mind that after this, I'll join academics and I'll definitely carry out research and academics. So when I came here, so I found that there was a need of this developing lab and all, because although the student labs were there, research was not that good in the field of biological sciences at Centurion. So that's how I started my journey here. And I was very happy because when a faculty has a dream and you try to convince the management that you want to do something in the field, and when the management supports, that's a very good thing and you feel very happy. And we started this lab with 2 3 scholars. They were big support for me. And of course, the university has played a big role in investing a lot of money in the lab, and that's how I started my journey. And we got some external grants from different funding agency that added to it, and I was very happy to develop the course, to develop a domain course. Then we started the research center, and it's just added every year. We added new things to it, and that I still feel there is a lot to do, and we have a lot of dreams here, and that keeps me going.
That's such a wonderful thing to hear, ma'am. So now that you've mentioned of it, we'd really like to know a little more about the domain, the coursework, and how are we looking at the coursework. So first of all, I'm really interested to understand on behalf of our viewers that what is the craze or the demand of genetics and genomics like? So it must be a different time when you were pursuing it, and the students of today, I'm sure, is there enough awareness about it, or do you think like a little more awareness could be spread about it, or do you think the demand or the interest of students lying in this particular field is pretty enough now?
No, there is awareness for sure. And mostly when you see, we are the Department of Botany, but mostly the biotechnology students get into this genetics and genomics. But here, what we felt that even the botany and zoology student who are into basic sciences, they were also very much interested when we started these kind of projects, when we started this domain, because most of the zoology student and botany students, they opted for this domain. So domain is something like a specific course. You know, you were more into product and this project and practice oriented thing. So a lot of faculty there into this genome engineering, genome sequencing, plant tissue culture. So that's how we thought that we'll start this domain where student, while choosing a project, they will have at the end of the project, they will have a prototype for product. And subsequently in 1 year or 2 years of time, they will go into production. That's how we started. And It's like now we are trying to get a very good response from the nearby colleges, from universities. Students are coming for training. They're also planning to join the domain, and that's the good thing has happened in last 2 years of time. Yeah.
Of course. So now that we are talking about this particular domain, and Centurion has always been known for its very unique, that is a hands-on training.
Yeah.
So now that you're saying that a lot of students are interested in coming to Centurion for their training, and of course it must be very fascinating for them. How does the hands-on training work in this particular field, and how do you think it is really helping the students?
Yeah, see, in every university, we have lab facilities. Okay, I can't say that we are the only university which is having such a good lab facility. But what makes us different is that when students come from different colleges or university, we, whatever facility we have, of course, we have a very good genome sequencing facility. We have Industry Connect. We have a genome editing facility where we can do the all kind of work, research work, which is mostly like in other universities, faculty and research scholars do. But in our place, even a graduate student is allowed to handle the nanopore sequencer. They can directly connect with the faculty and master students, even the PhD scholar, to do those kind of research which they would have done in their PhD time. So that's the beauty of that thing. We align everything. And that's how a graduate student get that idea that, okay, this is the future of the research. And this is where I have to work. And this is how we can get into production. So, and in these particular, if I'll take an example of pollinator paradise, that's a place where the small projects, like whether it is fish breeding, whether it is cactus or orchids or vanilla, whatever we have, everything is aligned from starting from a learning perspective. These are all live labs. You learn the thing, you get into research, then you get an idea like how to develop it that into a product, and then you go into production. So if some student is not interested in production, they can only stick to the research part. But whoever is interested into production and entrepreneurship, from the very beginning, from the domain itself, the student get an idea. So that's the beauty what I feel. Even the student who come from outside, they directly get the access to the equipment and they do the hands-on training here. Yeah.
Right. So, you just mentioned of Pollinators Paradise.
Yeah.
So, I think at the moment, not just me, I mean, I remember my first visit to the university, and the first place that I got to see was Pollinators Paradise. And even today, whenever any visitor just walks in and they're taken to the Pollinators Paradise while they're on the tour, I think it is one of the most fascinating things about the universities to begin with. I would really want to understand the contribution of students there. I'm sure a lot of technical people have been involved, a lot of faculties have been involved, experts have been involved. But how were students involved in the whole development and planning and understanding of the Pollinators Paradise? For people to know, if anybody visits the campus in person, they would really want to visit that. I just want to understand how were students involved in it.
Yeah, you're rightly you said that faculty and others are involved, but mostly it is the contribution of student, what I feel. Because when you enter the start, when you start, it's the fish aquarium that you have. You know that the whole thing is connected to a zoology student. They do that in lab. They do this fish breeding and everything, aquarium they're producing. Then they understand constructing a small aquarium in the lab, and then understanding how it works in a large scale, big scale. So that's what everything is connected to lab, and that's a live lab. So students are involved. They take care of that aquarium. They check the water pH and all. They put that they prepare the fish feed and all. So that is the part of a zoology student. Then the botany students are involved in cactus breeding, grafting. They have read it in theory, like how grafting or breeding is done. Now they do it by themselves. Do the grafting, and if when we do it in a large scale, we also sell that in that STC what you have seen. That's a production center that whatever student produce, we sell that. In fact, the students sell it. And then we have the orchids. We were having very less idea about orchids. In last 2 years, it is through students project that we have established. We have standardized the protocol. Now maybe within 1 or 2 years they will start flowering, and then this whole idea of just research idea will turn into a production thing. So everywhere, each unit you pick, the students are involved. They are taking care of it. They are starting with a research idea, and then finally it is going to production. Honeybee or cactus, and even you can see the vermicomposting area. Whatever waste we are generating, we are trying to get convert them to compost and all. So that is also done by students. So mostly it is like student and faculty driven.
So you had also mentioned earlier in our conversation that they do get the exposure of working with PhD scholars alongside
Yeah.
faculties, which gives them a great morale boost, and it is indeed a motivation for them, which also works. I just want to understand, apart from Pollinators Paradise, I think the entire campus, the Jatni campus of CUTM itself, is filled with greenery. There are so many beautiful things everywhere. Where are the other implementation of the students or their work or research can we see if we take a walk around the campus?
See, in the campus, if you see, we have more than 20 production unit in the campus only. Okay, so each production has a story to tell, and everywhere our faculty and students are involved. Because without the students also, it is very difficult to do all kind of production and all. Faculty are definitely involved through research centers, and one thing is this pollinator paradise. Then we have a lot of poly houses that side of the campus, where we are every time presidents are keep on adding new things. Okay, now we are working on saffron, we are working on vanilla, we have I told about orchids, and then this new. He's also trying to see that if we can just work on all this, the plants that are getting endangered, medicinal plants and all the indigenous plants and all. So he keeps on adding new things. That's how students are involved in all of the campus, like West to Wealth. If you can see, there also our students are involved. Chemistry and physics, all physical sciences students are involved, and whatever you take, Coffee Connect, and any place you take, students are involved. Management students are involved in Coffee Connect, and biological and physical students are involved in these hydroponic and aeroponic and all that things we are doing. A lot of innovative ideas comes from students also. So this is what we are doing.
So now we understand the involvement of students in various areas of the university and in terms of project and production. Apart from that, we have also spoken about hands-on training. I want to understand how beneficial has this proven to be for the students once they're done with the course here and they intend to like go out, look for a job or start something of themselves. How much industry ready do you think they are when they're on the verge of passing out, or when they're almost done with the course?
Yeah, that's a good question, because the domain course, if you see, it is actually industry oriented, because while we design the course, we take suggestion from the industry, because the whole domain course, it is into three areas. I told genome editing and gene sequencing and plant tissue culture. So everywhere there is an industry connect. So if a student is learning something, we ensure that that learning should help them in getting it. So I can give you example of 2 to 3 students. Last year, one of our student got into a tissue culture company. So he was a domain student here. He completely understood everything. He did. He standardized the orchid thing by himself. He got a job because of this particular training he got from here. So this is one job where the student got for tissue culture. One more student got into molecular biology lab, and that also he got because of this hands-on training that he received in this domain. And mostly in science, if you see, student get into research institutes. There also, if you want to get into good labs and all for a PhD scholar, and if you want to do higher research and all, you need to have a training or project where you have worked enough in the lab and you have some very good hands-on training. So that's how, it's not only industry. Even science students, they move into higher studies, they go for research and all. So everywhere it proves to be a very good thing. Like if you have a industry connect, if you know where the learning is going, and
It's
how
an
you can
opportunity.
how you can benefit the society, and how you can how industry ready is your subject. So that's very important for a student to learn at the beginning.
Of course, of course. So that brings me to another vertical of the podcast today. If I am not wrong, you also have your own startup, which is incubated with Centurion University. So apart from your achievements and the portfolios that you hold, and the position that you take care of while working alongside students, I want to understand, how did the establishment of your company come in? Was it a brainchild even for you joined Centurion, or what does the company work around, and how does that pan out for you?
Yeah, to be very honest with you, it was never an idea. I never thought that I can become an entrepreneur. I can have my own startup. It all happened in Centurion. So it's like I must give the credit to the university, because when I started my journey, I started as a researcher. of course, my dream was to have a big setup of like lab setup, and students should work, students should understand what is research. They should move into companies, or they should move into higher studies, and with all kind of knowledge, hands-on practice, also the theoretical knowledge. That was the idea. But when I was in the campus, the ecosystem is as such that you get into that whole thing, you imbibe a lot, you see the industry sponsored labs, you get connected with the industry, and you know. And then our interaction with the vice president Professor DN Rao and president Professor Muktikan Mishra, when you interact with them, you understand like whatever you're doing in lab or you have done research, is it really market ready? Is the market is ready to take that research or whatever products are coming out of it? And then you realize that yes, you should, as if you are a good researcher, if you have a lab and if you're doing so much of work, you should take it to the market. And that's how. And also my students have a big role in the startup, and it's actually their initiative, I must say. And
So your startup is
my student, yeah, my scholars initiative, so
oh wow,
PhD scholars
wow.
initiative.
And
It's
what
a
is it named?
and InfiGenome Pvt
InfiGenome.
Limited. So it's like we were doing a lot of training and services. That's what we thought, that why not start our own startup? And of course, we have moved into products, but it all started with training and services because we have the sequencing facility, and we wanted to. In this East Zone, we don't have enough sequencing facilities. So we thought we will start it, our lab should give some services, and mostly it was training part. But now we have started moving into products.
So how is that coming up? How many, like how many clients do we have as of now? And
Yeah.
how actively are students involved in your startup right
Yeah, students are involved, but we will definitely take some time to get there. Of course, we are getting a lot of orders for sequencing services, but as of now, we don't have any product in the market. There, we are working on it. But training, of course, we are doing, and we are known for that. And gradually, we'll move into products.
Of course, we wish you all luck and,
Yeah.
and Godspeed for that as well. So now, ma'am, I'd like to understand how is the lab, especially the genetics and genomics lab in Centurion, different from the others uh, in, like in the other part of India, I'd rather say, or Odisha, if at all there are any available. So, how are the labs different, and how does that help students in getting very confident about what they do? Like you had said, that some people got placed, some students
Yeah.
got placed, and the hands-on training has really helped them. I really want to understand, apart from the hands-on experience and the skilling part, how does that really help the students? Kind of initiate that confidence in them.
Here, what I would like to say is, if you compare with labs, definitely there are big labs even in India. Okay, there are well-established lab everywhere in India, in different part of the country. But how we are different, if I would like to say, because here what we do, our curriculum, or the domain, or the research center, everything is aligned. Okay, everywhere the student and faculty, they work together. Once the student complete a domain project and all, a faculty is already there because we have the research center. So if some student after completing, they want to stay in the campus, they want to train other students, or they want to join the research center or the lab or the startup, so there's a platform where they can start their career, they can understand. That's what happened in like last 2 years. Two students were there in the domain, they completed, and before getting somewhere or getting the job and all, they were in the campus only. They trained many students, so that's how they started their journey from here, like as a teacher or as an entrepreneur and all. And then the faculty are always there to help them. Okay, that's how it is connected.
Wonderful. So it is so good to know that people in the area of their own interest, especially in the field that we are talking about, they're already confident about what they're doing, even before they're placed somewhere
Yeah.
or they start a company of their own. So my last question to you would be, ma'am, what is your message to students who are interested in this genre or the ones who have no idea about it at all? So we can have two extremes in our viewers today. So for the people who are really interested and want to know more about this particular field of, or we could say applied sciences or botany or genetics and genomics for that matter, or the students who have no idea about it at all, but somehow they're interested in this field and they want to take up, any curriculum under it, what would be your message to them?
Yeah, I would like to say that earlier students, botany students specifically, what I have seen the mindset, they think that genetics and genomics is not for them. It's for the biotechnology student, and that was the mindset. But gradually, it is changing. Even the botany students, when they came from different universities and colleges, they saw the lab and they started doing the research. They were so happy, and even the zoology students, the basic sciences, that's what I'm speaking, and they were so happy to see that where the world is going, they need to know, and there are a lot of things to do, and there are a lot of cutting edge technologies where they can work. Okay, they can contribute, whether it is genome editing, whether it is gene sequencing. This is like going to play a big role now, and very transformative role in the field of agriculture, in the field of healthcare or medicine and all. So lot of things can be done, and wherever there is facility, it's fine. Wherever there is no facility, we are creating a lot of training and workshops. I feel students can come, they can join here, and when they stay in the campus, when they work, and while they leave, they give such a very good, like, nice feedback that they feel homely, they feel they are like allowed to work in the like they can handle this equipment where usually the people don't allow in big labs. Okay, and that's what may make them feel very special and happy, and they learn a lot. So I just wish that students should get aware of it. They can come to the campus, they can join anywhere. A lot of labs are there, but there is a understanding that this is only for the biotech students. It's not like that. Even though it is for botany and zoology students, basic sciences, they should be more aware of it. They should explore it, and there are a lot of opportunities in India and around outside India also. So that's what is a message, that we should think, we should aim high, the aspiration should be high, and that's how that's which like that is what will lead us to get success in life, or maybe achieve higher goals.
Absolutely. I think this is one of the most humbling or the nicest episodes that we have been on. I think the message was really clear. The understanding of this particular genre, like I'd like to say, has been very, very transparent. Thank you so much for sharing so much information. I'm sure this is going to be very helpful to all our viewers today. And like you mentioned, I'd also like to repeat it for our viewers. In case you are really looking forward to knowing a little more about it, please do feel free to visit the campus. I'm sure the faculties will be very happy to give you a tour or have a word with you and let you know about a little more of your areas of interest. So thank you
Yeah.
so much,
Thank you.
Dr. Rukmini, for
Thank you.
joining us for today's episode. It was wonderful speaking.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.